The 2023 Rugby World Cup champions will touch down at home very shortly, and the Springboks are returning from France, where they filled their record fourth Webb Ellis Cup, lifting it after beating the All Blacks 12-11 in the final. Now, South Africa are the most successful rugby nation in the entire world, and this at the World Cup, of course, after winning 4 titles in 8 appearances, which is an impressive 50% winning ratio. Now, the first 3 titles came in 1995, 2007 and 2019, with this year's victory making it a back-to-back win for the Boks. Well, Gareth Edwards and the sports team are out there at the OR Tambo International Airport waiting to welcome the Springboks back, but also catching up with what some of the fans actually have in store in terms of supporting the Springboks. Let's catch up with them once at this time to see exactly what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what the expectation is this morning with regard to what's expected upon the arrival of the Springboks. So good morning to you, Gareth. I mean, it's such an exciting day, I have to say, for the Springboks. We definitely see them filling up in capacity. By the time 12 o'clock comes, the Springboks will be welcoming to that cheer, loud jubilation and excitement from all the fans. Good morning.
Morning team, morning everyone. Welcome back to OR Tambo. It's going to get loud. It's going to get louder as well. I'm fairly certain as the Springboks start making their way here, they're going to be touching down in 1 hour and 22 minutes. They're going to be able to hear this music and hear this crowd as they hit the runway. That's how loud it is getting here. The party has been going on for the last hour. We had the SAPS band. Now we've got the big speakers in, and the people and the party is getting ready to get going as well. Vato and Gobeni, I had to drag him off the dance floor to come back up. Vato, head of sport for eNCA, with us as well. And this is the kind of arrival that you expect heroes to come home to. And this is only going to get busier and busier.
No doubt about Gareth. I think, as I said earlier on, 2019 was for the rugby fans and the purists. 2023 is for the 62 million South Africans. This team belongs to this nation. It belongs to these people. And it amazes me at how the people have woken up so early to be here, knowing that the team is only arriving at 5 to 11. And they've been here since 6 in the morning with us, Gareth. And the crowd is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a team that has inspired a lot of hope. But more than hope, it's brought so much joy to South Africans over the last 6-7 weeks. And I hope when they come through those doors, they will see what they mean to the people of South Africa.
Yeah, and what I want to do, Tumelo, as well, is we're going to be going around the country. I want to go down to Ronald Musinda, who is also covering this for us in another part of the country, because don't forget, you've got the trophy tour, the winners tour, where they're going to be going around, meeting all the fans. We're expecting everyone to come out and line up. That's going to be starting on Thursday. Ronald Musinda, your part of the country, massive, massive rugby following, and of course, we know it's one of the hot spots when it comes to rugby talent. Ronald, morning to you. Give me a sense where you are and what you're seeing.
Gareth, I can tell you where we are at Kids Beach in East London. The atmosphere is a lot more relaxed, but enjoy it, guys, because this is a big, big moment for many South Africans waiting for the Springboks to arrive. And I'm sure a lot of people waiting with bated breath to hear from Captain Siya Kolisi and his charges following what has been an epic Rugby World Cup. Now, what we are going to be delving into here in the Eastern Cape is one of the top stories after what we've been experiencing over the past few days, and that is the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. Now, they are up in arms that the bus trophy tour won't be taking place there, and instead it will be taking place where we are at the Buffalo City Metro. I am joined by former Springbok Tim Dlulane to unpack this story and more. Tim, thank you so much indeed for your time. Does it really matter where this bus tour takes place?
Ronald, first of all, good morning. It's an exciting moment. History has been made. I think it matters in a way, and I think Nelson Mandela Bay, it's unfortunate, but you have to understand the selection of the distance. I think Nelson Mandela Bay is about 200 k's out of East London, but what I believe SA Rugby's selection was, who is in the team that has an impact within the communities, which is coming in with the Eastern Cape. We are fortunate to have Mampimbi, Lucanio M on that team, And then, so not being cheeky and say it will be about time for Nelson Mandela Bay and to have a Springbok in the team. They were knowing that now in the planning, you are going home, you are taking the cup home. I think that is their selection and looking at the impact of the communities and the distance and say, well, the guys and the people, Springbok loving supporters will drive from PE to East London, but then for the rest, remember the guys been away from home for about a month, and then now we have to understand their tight schedule. So I think that is the selection as well, is the impact in the communities and who are the Springbok within those communities.
After your own playing days, you then moved into scouting, and I'm led to believe that you scouted Bongi Momnambi. This will be the buzzword, transformation and development of players who would possibly go on to represent the Springboks. But surely government needs to do more.
Yes, I think, Ronald, is something that when I was watching Bongi playing and thinking back in my days when I was at the Bulls with Nico Serfontein, we saw talent in Bongi, and he was playing for Velcom at that time. It was under 16s. And then saying, now I'm bringing the honourable ministers and the president and saying, well, there is a need for school sport budget to keep in that development and to keep in that turn, because we want to see the seers. And I'm a raw guy. I think I'm excitingly saying I'm from Lalin Mpeg. But when I saw Madiba on that day wearing number 6 and lifting the World Cup in 1995, I was 14 years old. Well, I want to wear that number 6 jersey. I want to represent the Springbok, because you know the impact that the community buy in. I bought in, and people will buy in from Sia being the captain, winning the Rugby World Cup 2 times, and saying government, president, finance minister, I think it's a budget, mid-term budget speech, allocate budget for sport, school development, and then we can now encompass as former players be part of that program, and then not only for private sector, not only for private business, but SA Rugby can't hold the fort by themselves. The grant is not sufficient.
What has been phenomenal under the tutelage of Rassie Erasmus and Jacques Ninaba has been the progress of many players of colour. I mean, we've spoken about 95, although we were successful. Only Chester Williams was the only player of colour in the starting lineup. 2007 under Jake White, only JP Peterson and Brian Abana were the only players of colour in that starting lineup, but we've seen a complete turnaround. Why do you think this has been the case?
Wow, I'll say wow to Rassie. I think I played against him once when I think he was retiring when I was playing for the Pumas. He was smart. He was smart, a rugby player, but then coming in to the bold move that he made, he understood the need of a black and united South Africa, uniting South Africa. And when we were behind Springbok, we saw a team that was united. We were united behind because we saw the system and the buy-in from the coach who used to play. And then I remember my days when I was playing, when I'm saying I'm playing against Rassie from the Pumas, I was regarded as a quarter player. It has to be, if it has, because I'm good enough to be here. So Rassie understood that quality players and the likes of Siya Kolisi, and that bold move to say, yes, he might lost lots of friends, and by appointing a black first rugby captain, and then saying the wheel of transformation is turning. I think it's exciting to talk about that. Well, it's been too slow, but Rassie made it to move quicker, and then now we are the world champs.
Tim, I'm going to put you on the spot here in my last question. South Africa were deprived of opportunity to play in the Rugby World Cup in 1987, 1991 due to international isolation, but they are the most successful team in the world in terms of World Cup rugby. Are we the greatest nation in rugby?
Well, I think greatness is gauged by the excellence. I think they are the top performing, excellent performers. And the high performance that Rassie put in place, we are the top performance. We're the world champs. What can we say? But then it is that belief and government not fully interfering with Rassie, giving Mark Alexander space to breathe, allowing Rassie to do what he believes knows that you can work, and then we can sit back and say, now it's like succession planning. Succession planning, what is the plan for Rassie? Rassie, ideally, they have to keep him for another year. Now, Sticks, John Davids, I think the other quality black coaches are there. They've got the ability, but he has to guide the ship, and then making sure that we remain the world champs as we are. Then it's like he has to stay.
All right. Tim, thank you very much indeed. Wise words from former Springbok Tim Dlulane. It's back to you guys.
All right, Ronald Musinda, thank you very much indeed. As you can hear, Vata Ngobeni, head of sports, that yes, while we celebrate this today, there's already issues down in East London for the trophy tour, and it almost echoes the conversation I was having with Mark Fredericks earlier from Walter Sisulu University, saying there are many issues that government has not dealt with, from grassroots rugby to infrastructure, and beyond today's celebration, there's a lot of work to do.
Without a doubt, you know, Gareth, you've got to go back to that Lissington Sports Stadium, that 50 million rand stadium. We were there last week, and you saw how dilapidated it is. You know, so much money is being wasted, you know, through corruption, and the facilities can be built. You know, and we're seeing a lot of facilities within that Eastern Cape area, outside of the Buffalo City municipality, going to our Tambo municipality. You know, there's almost nothing, you know, for kids to utilize. So there needs to be a huge focus on the infrastructure of those areas, and not just in the Eastern Cape, across the country. Because once you've got the infrastructure, then you can get the clubs going and the kids playing. So it's very, very important that infrastructure is looked at municipal level before we start blaming national government.
Exactly right. We can celebrate the Springboks today, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done to ensure we have that longevity. What I want to do, if you can even hear me, down in the scrum of noise and Springbok fans behind me, and Sako, eNCA sports reporter, is in there somewhere. And Sako, hello, if you can hear me, just tell me where you are, because I can't even find you behind me.
Well, we are still here at the Tambo International Airport, where it is absolute pandemonium here. Dumelo, I will tell you, Gareth, you as well, you are sitting up there in the second floor, but down here, the ground is literally shaking. You will think I'm exaggerating, but that is literally what is happening from all of the jumping and dancing that is going on around here. And this is what it's all about, you know. This is what the Springboks go out there and do this for South Africa to unite, like we are doing right now, where you have young and old, black, white, the able and the differently able, all coming out here to welcome back the Springboks. So like you already know, they are scheduled to arrive here at around 25 minutes past 10 this morning. And Siya Kolisi, as well as Rassie Rasmus and Jacques Ninaba, and that squad will be bringing on an extra passenger from that trip that they made to France. I'm going to speak to one of the ladies over here and just ask her what she feels as the national anthem plays. Sisi Ufigi Lelana, how do you feel after the Springboks won the Rugby World Cup?
South Africa akubeka irimbebeni kuringana na vumune tsakile swinene kusuka mbilini ya mina Limpopo akaya Giyani le Black Vatera akari a celebrate na namuntlha hi karhi hi tsakela cup leyiwa tsaka swinene mabhokabhoka mahlweni.
There you go. Yes, she says that she never believed that the Springboks would go on to win a 4th Rugby World Cup title. She comes all the way from Limpopo, but decided that she needs to be here to see the Springboks touch down one more time. Gentlemen, young man, Springboks have won the World Cup, 4th time around. How do you feel?
I feel very special because it's good feeling the same thing that the Springboks felt when they won.
And tell me, who's your favorite Springbok?
I like Faf.
So where are your Speedos? Where's your Speedo, my man?
I forgot it at home.
Not today. Not today. Thank you so much. So, are you excited to see the Springboks?
Yes. Yes.
Are you also going to be a Springbok one day?
Yes.
Thank you so much, young man. And so this is what the Springboks play for, to see South Africa unite. You know, I'm reminded of the scenes I saw back in 2019 when they came back, and it was not what this is currently. And I anticipate that this year will be much, much bigger. And I also remember Rassie Rasmus, the director of rugby, of SA Rugby, saying that he hopes that what happens here will kick on, that South Africa will be able to take it into politics, will be able to take it into offices and to other avenues to see what happens when South Africans actually unite. Siamthanda Kolisi, in his post-match press conference after they won the Rugby World Cup, did say that he hopes that South Africans can take it into other avenues and just kick on from that. I was actually also told that this young lady over here dragged her mother to come to the OR Tambo International Airport. Her mother was not willing to come, but her mother over here decided to come because her daughter wanted to come. Sisi, how do you feel? You are here with your mother and you will see the Springboks come out as Rugby World Cup champions.
So excited! I can't wait to see Faf de Klerk!
So I'll take it that Faf is your favorite Springbok.
My favorite is my favorite. I love him so much. Oh!
What will you say to him when he comes out, should you get the chance to speak to him?
Thank you so much for bringing the World Cup home. He has worked really hard during this World Cup. Thank you.
And that is just a sentiment all around from South Africans here at the OR Tambo International Airport. It's thank you, South Africans. Thank you, Springboks. Thank you, Siya Kolisi. Thank you, Jacques Nienaber. Thank you, Faf de Klerk, for what you have done for this country. And there you have it, stronger together. South Africans from different walks of life, which is what the Springbok team actually symbolizes. I think of the story of Umakazole Mapimpi, who comes from the rural village of Solomna. And then there are also guys from Strand, like a Vili Leroux. But these guys have come together for a common goal. And their common goal is to unite South Africa one more time. My brother, Springboks, 4-time Rugby World Cup champions. Never been done. It's back to back now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm so excited all over the world now because it's 4-time world champions, Baba. They should be giving us rings, the Springboks rings. All of them, all the players, and we are waiting them here to show them love, actually to thank their courage, the good work they've done to us. Yes, I'm so proud of them.
And so there you go. It's also just a story of courage. These 33 men, 35 men who've gone on to represent a country. I think of that quarter-final match where they played and all of France was against them when they played against France, and it was just 33 men against an entire nation. So it's also a story of courage. And, you know, it's a story of also making South Africans happy like this. Since I can tell you are happy like it's Friday night.
I was here at 5 a.m. I didn't want to be caught up in traffic. You guys were still setting up. I was here.
So you were here way before we were here?
Before you guys. When we got to you guys, we were still setting up. We didn't want to miss anything. We wanted to hear everything.
And tell me, where's home? Where did you come from at 5 a.m.?
I stay in Sunning Hill. Oh, but rugby, you know, home of rugby is Eastern Cape. So from Eastern Cape. Yes.
And what about work? Did you take the day off work today?
Let me tell you something. Everybody that is not here is a fan. All supporters were given a public holiday today.
Well, I don't know about the public holiday. From what I know is that it's on the 15th of December from what the president said. And so these are just the beautiful scenes at the OR Tambo International Airport. It's filling up very lovely. Even in the second row, you can see people coming out all the way up in the third row. It is starting to fill up. And this is what the Springboks have done. This is what they do. This is what sport does. And these are the moments we get reminded of why we do what we love, so that we can tell stories like this, so that we can tell stories of hope and what this team has been able to do. Here we go, South Africans dancing like we do whenever we are happy. The infamous step has to come out like all the time when we are happy.
Michael, thank you very, very much. He's not going to have a voice left by the time he's finished down there. Bato Nkobeni, one of the biggest South African flags that we've seen at the airport so far, has just been draped over the railings here as well. And in the next hour or so, we're expecting the Springboks to be starting to make their final approach. Still on time, 25 minutes after 10 o'clock. Vata, I want to get a sense of the program from you. The Springboks are going to touch down. They're going to come through that doors. What happens from there? Because there's also a press conference later.
Crowd is going to grow even bigger and bigger. You can see the SAPS band is here. They'll be singing off the national anthem with all the players along with the crowd. And then Siya Kolisi and Jacques Minaba and a few other players, selected players, will go off to the press conference room where the press conference is scheduled to start at 12 o'clock, at 12 p.m. I anticipate the press conference will go on for longer than any press conference the Springboks have had this year. They are at home. I'm sure the sports minister will be here to receive them, a lot of other dignitaries as well. I know that SA Rugby President Mark Alexander has already landed. We should be speaking to him sort of in the next 30 minutes to an hour. And he'll be giving details obviously of what's going to happen going forward. I know from here then they go off to their hotel to relax. I think they need to spend time with their families, catch their breath, because the next few days will be extremely grueling for them. Tomorrow's a day off, and then on Thursday the trophy tour starts. First in Pretoria, moves over to MTN, their main sponsor, and then after lunch they go to FNB, who's the other sponsor in town, and then they go to Soweto, and they'll go to Orlando Stadium, finish up at FNB Stadium. And I see Gareth, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might be the netball team, the national, the Proteas part. Let me just check. It is one of our national teams that's actually arriving here at the airport. And I mean, look at the people just surrounding them, Gareth. Just people are just proud of any national team that goes out to represent South Africa. And I think at this time, you know, what our women's cricket team did at the World Cup, what our netball team did, what our rowers did at the World Rowing Masters as well. You know, I think South Africa's flag is flying extremely high, thanks to our sportsmen and sportswomen. That's what I was saying to you again, Gareth, that trophy tour will go and finish off in Soweto at FNB Stadium. From there on, they move to Cape Town, where they will have the trophy tour there. Then on Saturday will be Durban, and then they'll finish off in East London. And the country mustn't be worried, Gareth. South African Rugby has promised that there will be an extended tour next year that will touch the likes of Bloemfontein, Polokwane, Bombela, Mahikeng. They will do their best to go to every single province in this country and show up their trophy. But you need to understand, the players are tired. They've been away from home for a very, very long time. And they also have their own club commitments. They've got to go back to their franchises. The URC has already started, and you see the other competitions around the world will start as well. So, you know, I think South Africans need to be patient. Everyone will get a glimpse of the world champions. But another 4 more years. Another 4 more years.
Now, Bato Nkobeni beautifully summed up as well. You can see some of those in the national colours coming through. That's just a warm-up. Imagine how they felt coming through with this crowd. They weren't expecting that. And we're now 25 minutes after 9 o'clock. The hour countdown, 60 minutes, has started until the Springboks and their plane lands. They're going to be coming through those doors. They're going to be going to the left of our camera position. It is going to be absolute pandemonium. If you can get yourself down to Terminal A here at OR Tambo, just tell the boss you'll come back before lunch. You've got about an hour and a half before the Springboks make their way through those doors. We're going to be back with you again a little bit later here on eNCA, the entire team, myself, Bato Nkobeni, Morena and Sako, everyone. It's going to be here. You won't miss a single thing about the world champions coming home here to South Africa.
Listen, Gareth, just judging by the visuals that we're seeing right now, it looks like it's literally New Year's Day. I think we can just safely call it that. It's New Year's Day from where you stand. Absolute excitement, jubilation, celebrations going on because of that victory that has been clinched by the Springboks. And I can see everyone, young and old, just coming there to, of course, enjoy their festivities around welcoming back the Springboks. I mean, from what we've heard with Ntsako, Mkari speaking to some of the fans on the ground, saying they're so excited. They're giving all the gratitude to the Springboks for working so hard, to the entire team, to the captain Siya Kolisi, to all the coaches and the team, the technical team behind the scenes as well, that's making sure that the boys were fit, that they were motivated, and they had all they needed behind the scenes. Those were also the heroes that weren't necessarily in the forefront. They were not wearing any caves, but they're much of an important figure of the Springboks. We'll all be seeing them, of course, arriving in no time, and we'll be sure to catch up with Gareth and the sports team on the ground, welcoming the boys, but also hearing what you, the fans, South Africans at large, have to say to the Springboks. We'll keep you abreast and updated with all the festivities out at the OR Tambo International Airport.